Okay, Toots, on Instagram, this is for you. Shoulders, tight, knotty. Start with cat pose and really get into your upper back and not just on the down upward curve. So we can open up through the shoulders on the upward curve. Then when we come on the downward curve, what a lot of us tend to do is just drop into the lower back. So see if you can drop between the shoulder blades. So you let the chest drop down. It's kind of like you're hanging between the shoulders, and lift through the neck. And then draw that back in, feel into the heart space. Exhale and push up. So you're really moving into that space of the upper back. So I'm going to do you a couple, well, 2 or 3 little shorts. So this is your first one, moving through. So exhaling, arching, and feeling that drop down on the inhale. Right between the shoulder blades, like you're making a hammock out of your back. The next one is down into child pose. So sit low into child pose and have the knees wide so that you can really lengthen down and get the belly down. If your knees are okay with that and your hips, get the belly down, belly down to the floor. That slip there. Okay, so we get our bellies down on the floor and then rest the head on the floor. Take the arms a little bit wider so the shoulders are out, and feel again your chest dropping down between. So we've got this really nice downward curve. And to give a little bit more, if it feels okay to do, a little bit more into the upper back, bring the hands together over the head, just kind of walk the elbows in there and feel into your upper back, deep breathe into the back. So I've got a larger proportion of the lungs in the upper back there, so we want to get right into that space. So that's your second pose, and the next one is your twist. So come up, keep the knees wide, extend out through the right arm, give it a little reach out, and then exhale, sweep that around and send your arm underneath this thread needle pose. So stretch under, see if you can get your shoulder down on the ground. If it's a little bit tight, then you can be up onto the forearm, as long as we're getting a rotation into the upper back. Elbow over the wrist. And you just press down into the hand, lifting up. I'll bring that to the other side so you can see. So extend out through the left arm, sweep it round, underneath. And then when you get there, see if you can get that elbow right over the hand and push so the shoulder is lifting. Sometimes see this pose with the arm up, but then we tend to drop down. So if you've got that support, just push in gently into the back. Okay. And you might do a little child pose between. So your next one from here, little back bend. So we're going to come down to the floor, bring the hands under the shoulders, press into the tops of the hips and come up just a little way into your cobra. So we're not going too high. If it feels like you need to have the hands further back, you can go for that, to draw into that back of the heart space. And we're not going high up, we're just feeling into the upper back squeeze as the shoulder blades squeeze back a little and the shoulders themselves. If it feels okay to do, you might bring the hands around the back of the body and gently draw the shoulders back, a little squeeze there. So a little modified cobra there. And then the next one for working into the back is our down dog. So we're stretching out the back, putting a little length through the shoulders. So keep the hands shoulder width apart. The temptation is to take the hands out wide, which can feel nice for the shoulders, but it doesn't put enough work into the back. So bring the hands into shoulder width apart, feel into the upper back, and really press through the hands and think about bending those knees and lengthening the spine, so it's a real big stretch out. And then from there, we're going to bring that into forward fold. And just catch hold of your inner elbows. Let the body hang. Take a little sweep, a little sway there. Just gently drawing the shoulders out. And then releasing the arms. Come down to seat. Or you can do this in standing. So some moves into upper back and shoulders. Just nice, easy little flow through from seated or standing. So sitting tall, standing tall in your mountain pose if you prefer. And we'll start with side bends. So we'll stretch over to one side, lifting through the shoulder. Draw the elbow down. If you're in standing, just let that hand rest on the waist. And then bring that over to the other side. Extend away. And just feel the breath. You can stay here for a couple of breaths to open up into those knotty spaces. And what you can also do as you come into side bend is you can take the hand behind the head to kind of hold the head and open the elbow up a little. So gently draw any tightness out of the inner shoulder, the armpit, and into the neck. You've done a few of those, you can bring that into a twist. So sending one hand onto the knee, just gently rocking around. So twists are really good for upper back, getting those knots out. So it's not about cranking round and really forcing yourself into the pose. So keep a nice length with the breath. So inhale, extend a little, and exhale, soften. And release that, bring that around to the other side. Just feel into your breath. So it's the breath that moves you rather than pulling yourself strongly round. Just feel that lovely rotation, squeeze and soak into the back, which is kind of getting in like a flannel into your whole of your spine, squeezing, and then the soak is the fresh oxygenated blood coming back into the spine. Feels really good. And then from there we want to move into forward and back bend. So we can sweep forward. If you're standing, just coming into a forward fold there. And then from here, taking that back around, either having the fingers pointing backwards or forward, press into the floor, lift through the chest, create a little squeeze into the shoulder blades there. And then bring that back to centre. So the last thing I suggest for the back is the shoulders and the neck, to work into them. Those three areas really interconnected, and usually there's something going off in one of the other places as well that affects our back. So take a roll into your shoulders. Really feel all of the kind of four corners of the shoulders. So lift high up towards the ears, then back towards the back of the room, then down towards the floor and forward towards the front, and then really roll through those spots. And you can take that the other direction, or you can do a little lift and drop. So inhaling, drawing up, and then let go of the day. Inhale and let go of the day. Fantastic. Okay, so a little bit of neck movements. So stretch out through the neck by just looking over one shoulder and then rolling down. Chin comes towards chest, roll down towards the heart space, and then all the way up to the other side. And then exhale, coming down to the centre, and inhale, back up. We'll do one more of those. And then bringing your head back into centre. And coming back to sit tall. The other thing that's really helpful for back is a lying twist. It's my favourite one to kind of do at the end of the day or first thing in the morning if the back's a little bit knotty and tight. So you get down onto the floor, onto your side. If you line your shins up with the long edge of the mat, and then your back with the back edge of the long edge of the mat, and then extend your arms out in front. Here you can use a cushion just under your head if you're not able to get the head onto the floor without the neck kind of being overstretched. So you can give yourself a little lift up. And the top hand is over the bottom hand at first, but we're going to hutch ourselves so that the underside arm reaches away a little bit. So we're already starting in twist. We keep the knees together and the hips stacked as we bring the left hand gliding up towards the shoulder, opening out through the shoulder. Don't take that arm right back yet. We're just going to kind of keep this kind of closed unit of weight around the shoulder that starts to draw back into the upper back. You might even take the head looking over that shoulder if the neck feels okay with it. We're just going to do a little glide with this. So we exhale, slide that hand down, reach out, and then inhale, bring that all the way back. And you can do that a few times, working your way into that shoulder and upper back movement. And then if you're able to, if your shoulder the back of the shoulder is on the floor, you can take that arm out along the floor there. But if your shoulder is way off the floor, just keep the hand there. It's more useful for the flexibility work in the shoulder to have the hand and the weight all in that centre area of the shoulder, rather than the big weight of the arm outstretched. So see how you feel there. You can turn into the head and neck. And breathe deeply when you get there. Really, again, feel into those backs of the lungs, really opening out through the upper back. Feel your knot all going, all your knots disappearing there, melting down into the floor. And then bring that back and all the way to the other side. So I'm going to do the other side because what tends to happen is we don't give that as much time. So make sure that you get the full deal tonight. Toots McGintis. Okay. We come to the other side. So we're out with the left arm outstretched and a right arm on top. Inhale, rolling across. Of course, you may not need the cushion, and if you find your head is up here, chin too close towards the chest, then remove the cushion and have your head on the floor. So I'd say this one's really nice to just kind of do that in bed before you get up or before you're going to sleep at night, and really kind of squeeze into that back. So the last one, you might bring that arm out along the floor if the back of the shoulder reaches down to the floor. If it's a tiny bit off, then that's okay. You can always put a little bit of padding under there. And you can stay there as long as you like. Drift off to sleep with your newly sorted back. So I hope that was good for you to get rid of that stuff in the back and the shoulders. Have a lovely day, and I love your clothes that you keep putting on. That you're really inspiring me to get sewing. So thank you for giving me the suggestion, and hope it helps other people for shoulders, backs, getting rid of those knots. Thanks for the suggestion. Namaste.